Hey, what is going on, everyone? This is Dorrani and Dom from VG247.com, which actually rhymes. It is the morning time, but yesterday there was another acquisition. So on a lonely Tuesday morning, in like 2 weeks ago, Microsoft purchased Activision Blizzard King. On a Monday afternoon, yesterday, Sony PlayStation have purchased Bungie. Wow, what a thing. It's all kicking off. Yeah, it's all kicking off. So initially, a lot of people, when they think, oh my God, Bungie's been purchased, that means that Destiny 2, right? Destiny 2 is going to be Destiny 2 might be a exclusive going forward. But I think it was smart of them to reassure players. And the first thing they released was a sort of statement saying what their goals are. So just for some clarity, which I really appreciate from Bungie and Destiny. Number one, so it's titled Destiny 2, Our Shared Vision, Bungie x PlayStation. So number one is one community, multi-platform. Destiny 2 will stay on all current platforms and expand to new platforms. Number two, self-published, creatively independent. Bungie maintains full creative control and publishing independence of the Destiny universe. 3, same game everywhere. Every player should have an amazing Destiny experience, no matter where they choose to play, which I think is great for everyone, all of the Bungie, all of the Destiny 2 players. What are your initial thoughts on that, man? Sorry, did I say the price? 3.6 billion? 3.6 billion?
It's a bit less than the 70 billion that Microsoft got for Activision, but I guess it's only a smaller company.
We can't do that now. We can't see. That's the thing. If anyone buys a company now and it's not past 70 billion, everyone's going to be like, nah, it's not all that. It's not that good. It's not that good. Yeah, sorry, go on. What's your initial thoughts, man?
So, well, as a Destiny 2 player that's been playing, I've been playing since D1 when it first came out back on the PS4 days of Xbox One. What I hope this means is that we get rid of all the stupid content gating and all the kind of like, have this expansion, but you have to have this expansion to get this and this and this.
Yeah.
Because we can now unify the platforms, or if PlayStation at least says, right, one game, one thing for everyone, buy it once. Because like I got the last expansion, Beyond Light, on Xbox, but all my friends play on PlayStation. And yes, there is like crossplay, but if I want to go and get Witch Queen on PlayStation, I've now got to get Beyond Light on PlayStation 2, and it's just a mess, complete mess.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that this means that PlayStation wants to unify it, do everything together for one person, and that means that basically it's going to be a better experience for the player. That's what I hope, and that's what it seems to be that PlayStation's getting at. They're still being quite funny about just how they're wording it, to no prices and things like that. But yeah, I think it's a good thing overall. As a Bungie fan, I'm very pleased to know that they're going to keep it going on everywhere. It almost feels like a bit of a spitting in the face of Microsoft, who have been like, oh, you'll have the next few Call of Duty games. and then I've lost myself in these notes now, sorry. People seem to think that these deals, right, are done just like that. That's one thing that I've been seeing people talk about. Like, this is a response to Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard King. But people don't understand that these deals take months, years even. So this is something that they probably had in the pipeline ages ago, right? And I'm sure PlayStation knew that what Microsoft were doing. People speak to each other, right? I'm sure they knew, but it's like, okay, that's fine. But the CEO of PlayStation, Jim Ryan, has come out and said, that's not the case. What are you lot talking about? That is not the case at all. What do you think? I think also on that kind of note as well, Herman Helse put a comment out about, because he's the one in charge of PlayStation Worldwide Studios.
Yeah.
And he put a comment out saying, I've spent a great deal of time with the senior team at Bungie. Like, you don't spend a great deal of time with someone without these things percolating in the back of your head, thinking, we might pick this company up, we might do this.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, again, I think the people that write these press releases are very canny in exactly the wording they choose. And this is to show, I think that is saying in as many words, this is not a response to Activision Blizzard King. This is something we've been doing at our own behest. Also, on that note, Herman Helst used to be in charge of a Dutch developer, the guys that make Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West, and then he got
Okay.
promoted to like oversee a lot of PlayStation studios, and that's based out of Amsterdam, and he's based in Amsterdam. And I think it was last year in February 2021, Bungie announced that they are making a massive new studio in Amsterdam. Like, these things I don't think are completely coincidental. At that time, Bungie also announced that they want to move more towards making multimedia stuff rather than just video games. So their European HQ is basically going to be like a production division looking at films, TV, things like that. And I think this, again, the wording of the statement that Sony and Bungie have put out, they keep saying, like, we want to do more worlds, we want to go elsewhere, we want to do more things. It all seems very nice. Metaverse.
You're going to see Bungie Metaverse. That'd be pretty cool.
Oh, God.
I'm joking. That's actually interesting, right? Because Bungie are making other things, right? Another game as well, like mainly. But not everyone knows that. Not everyone knows that they are actually working on other things apart from Destiny, because it's just not common knowledge. And I just don't think people need to know, because they haven't really started, right? They're just like building their foundations out. And I think a purchase like this is definitely like Sony, PlayStation seeing potential in Bungie. Like they can look at them and say, like, you lot do outstanding work, and you have been for so long, to create at your level with such consistency. It's like, why wouldn't we have this studio underneath our belt? And I feel like Bungie is one of those studios where when they're showing their game and when they're just, it's a live service game, right? So they need to maintain communication. They're consistently speaking to their fan base. So Bungie actually feel like friends, more or less. Like, they're one studio that actually feel like they're like, you care about them, you care about what's going on over in that studio. I've lost my point now.
Well, kind of going off.
It's a big acquisition. Sorry, yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. And you're saying about like the live service element of it. PlayStation sort of so far has kind of struggled with its live service games, like in-house. We had the Champions Destruction Derby All-Stars game that kind of the live service flagship for Sony, the PS5. And where's that? It's kind of died. It's still going. No, you don't see any coverage of it. The sites don't cover it. We don't talk about it. It's not on the socials. It doesn't pop up. So for a live service game, I think it's fair to say effectively it's failed, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Microsoft on the other side of the spectrum, completely without apparently putting any effort in, come out the gates with Halo. And it's already dominating absolutely everything. Halo's been gone for a few years, comes back, bang, live service.
Yep.
And, we'd be remiss not to mention that key Xbox title was developed initially by Bungie. And so when we got this news yesterday, I was kind of sat there and thinking, what is this bizarre life I'm living where Xbox owns Crash Bandicoot and and Sony owns the guys that made Master Chief? What the hell is going on?
Yep. How to turntables. Everything just went, nope. On the other side, shoes on the other foot now. I think that's pretty cool though. But I think it's really, that's a whole business world of things, right? That's the business world of things. That's like the consumer, we don't really care like what's going on there. But it doesn't really matter to them, like the normal consumer. Well, it does actually, because it depends what console that you own. If you're someone who says for whatever reason, I am only buying PlayStation, and then your favorite PlayStation game gets bought by the opposing the competitor, you're going to be like, well, okay then. The business side of things is really strange on this, and it puts things into perspective a lot.
So I don't think we're going to necessarily see anything related to that come up for Bungie until... So, you mentioned earlier they're working on another game. That is common knowledge. It's called, there are trademarks filed for it to be called Matter. Now, whether that's its final name or it's just its development, like code name, we don't know yet. But they are working on a game called Matter that seems to be a whimsical character action shooter, is the terms they've had in a job description. Okay. Which for Bungie, sorry, pre-prepared.
Go for it.
They call it comedic and light-hearted, apparently, which is kind of the opposite of like the grimdark Destiny, kind of like the world. Here's some aliens.
My mind instantly goes to Borderlands when I think of like a whimsical not whimsical, but it's like lighthearted. There's jokes to be made. You couldn't say Cade in Destiny before, you know.
Yes.
He was the only like comedic aspect to Destiny that gave it like a light-hearted feel, and that's why they killed him off. That's why they killed Cade, because they wanted to go down a darker route. Sorry, yeah.
And I think that's fair. I think as well, like, look at the kind of the current gaming landscape. You mentioned Borderlands. Like, what else really is there out there? What big games take that light-hearted route? I do think Bungie could do it. I think Bungie do have elements of goofy and good humor in Destiny.
Yeah.
Kind of takes a backseat to all the world-ending big bads that kind of march through the void to eat everyone. And on that as well, that game, they were hiring for a very experienced character action like programmer, so someone that knows how to do things. I think in the vein of like maybe Bleeding Edge and Devil May Cry.
Okay.
So if they're kind of trying, like before Bungie, no one could do shooters in the kind of shared world thing like very well.
Yeah.
Like they took that idea and smushed it together. They wanted to do that with Halo originally, but then they got out to Destiny. They did it really, really well. Are they going to do the same thing with a kind of character action game? Are we going to see like a shared world co-op and competitive like character action game like that? The only thing we've seen like that is Bleeding Edge, which Microsoft kind of dropped the ball on. I'd say.
Everyone wants to do hero shooters, man. Everyone wants to do these hero shooters sort of things, and it's not for everyone. You know, they're really hard to maintain, and they're really hard to make unique.
I think the only one that's come and held a candle to Overwatch is Valorant, and that's because that's just it doesn't quite have the penetration that the brands do. But I will say, they're similar to like we're seeing Riot go and do fighting games because they're like, yeah, we can do fighting games.
Yeah.
Bungie's like, yeah, we can do character action. Yeah, sure, maybe you can, guys. I trust you guys. If anyone's got the talent.
Yeah. That's it, you know. I think that is it. I think some games just have some game concepts just have the wrong studio doing like creating that vision. And I think that is super important because like, you know, a studio for its style, right? And some studios just don't have the style or the knack to do it. I know there's a million people that work on like one game, and some people don't even get the credit for doing what they do. But yeah, you like when you think of big who made Bleeding Edge? Who made
that was Ninja Theory, the guys that did Hellblade.
Oh yeah, that's true. But I feel like they're not the right people for that. You know, Hellblade is a story-driven, narrative-driven game. For them to go into like the multiplayer space, it's like, whoa, what's going on? I'm trying to think what else Ninja Theory create before
they also did the really unpopular Devil May Cry game. DMC,
yes,
yeah. Which was.
No, but I'm thinking for like multiplayer though. Like, did they make any? No. Yeah. So I don't think they were the right ones, right?
No, I think you're right. I think they're very good at the graphical style, and they're very good at kind of doing those. To me, Antonidas, the studio head there, he's very good at his dark stories and his kind of like labyrinthine, kind of like introspective stories. So Bleeding Edge against that is such a different concept and project.
Doesn't make sense. And that is not to say that companies can't swap like genre completely. That's not to say, like, what I'm trying to say is sometimes it's the wrong person or wrong people trying to create the right thing, and it ends up failing.
Like a studio like Bleeding Edge, they're under Microsoft. A studio like Ninja Theory, they're under Microsoft, sure, and they've got well support. But I know that the main bulk of that studio was not on that game because they were focused on Hellblade 2, flagship title for the Xbox Series XS. Whereas now that Bungie are under Sony, who knows, what are we going to have a Destiny team working on something out in Seattle, and then are we going to have a new European team working on something out in like Amsterdam? How it's going to get broken up and the resources Sony are going to put into it is very interesting. I think an early marker of how well that's going to go is the amount of jobs that went up on the Bungie site yesterday after the announcement.
Really?
Statement of intent. Yeah, like there were a few jobs up there before, but then suddenly the acquisition happened, and bang, like a whole new list. I think
it was looking like LinkedIn. It was looking like Indeed and Read.com. That's what it was looking like. It's like, come and work for us. We have jobs here. We have jobs. Sorry, God.
Again, in terms of statement of intent and like resources and staffing behind these projects, Sony clearly, like, they've got a good amount of worldwide studios themselves, but now with this, a big company like this under them, it's going to be good. I will say there is a caveat with this, and that is Bungie have a history of messy divorces.
Okay.
They used to work with Microsoft when they made Halo, and after Destiny, before Destiny came out, there was quite a messy breakup with Bungie and Activision. Sorry, with Bungie and Microsoft, and then following that, Activision acquired the publishing rights to Destiny. They didn't acquire Bungie itself.
Yeah,
they were publishing Destiny, and that also was quite a messy, ill-advised, I'd say, jaunt, because I think Activision were with Bungie for the launch of Destiny 2 up to the first year of its life, I think.
Yeah, which made Destiny 2 horrendous. The start of Destiny 2 was shock and horror, and I will never forgive Activision for just being greedy.
Yeah.
The
way the game was butchered into its constituent parts, the way that the PlayStation platforms had more stuff because of the Sony Activision deal, which now in retrospect is hilarious. That was messy and it was horrible. I hope Sony seemed to have pretty good business sense. I hope they wouldn't do the same sort of thing with Bungie. But let's see how, in the statement they put out, they said, Sony values us as an independent worker and our creativity. Yeah, we'll see, because you guys don't traditionally have a good relationship with control you. So
we're gonna hope, because Bungie are my friends. We're gonna hope Bungie are my friends, man. So I'm gonna hope that they do maintain the creative freedom. I remember when they did split from Activision, right? There was tweets like saying that they were like so adamant to leave Activision. Like, people were cheering when they finally, the deal finalized and they can go independent. And I was like, yes, man. Yes, I'm so happy for them guys. I sound so biased right now, but I hope that it's just like PlayStation is just like, I don't know, like a sugar daddy to Bungie right now, and just says, here you go, have all of this money and you can just go off and do whatever you want. That's like my final thought on the whole thing.
And I
also,
think,
go on.
Right, I'm gonna steal that, and I'm gonna go out and say to everyone, I hope this is basically a sugar daddy relationship, because that is nail on the head, exactly what I want for them. I think everyone's gonna benefit from that. Sony can afford it. Bungie will have like all the freedom and happiness, and cool.
Absolutely, man, absolutely. Also, one thing, to round this out, something that's not really unnecessary, 343 Studios, who currently make Halo, so they own Halo, right? It blew my mind yesterday how many people still think Bungie own Halo.
Yeah,
it blew my mind. I saw tweets, people like, "Oh, so we're gonna see Halo on PlayStation soon." I was like, "What? Where did you get that from?" I put it on my Instagram and people were like, "Oh, what does that mean? Halo's coming to da-da-da-da-da." So I say all of that to say, 343, you need to probably step your marketing game up and put your face on Halo a bit more, so people know exactly what you're making. But
you know what?
Could you imagine?
Very, very recently, like the end of last year, Bungie did a tie-over for the 30th anniversary of Bungie, which had loads of Halo stuff in Destiny. So they're not doing a lot to kind of uncouple themselves from that brand. So,
well, I think they're proud though. I think they're proud, and I think 343 respect the studio who created it first, right? Yeah. And Halo basically spawned Destiny 2. Like they are one in the same in terms of like their inspiration. You can see it in their gun design, in the character design, character movement, grenades, weapons, everything. But I was just baffled. I was just baffled that people like how long has Bungie not been working on Halo? For about 10 years?
And the rest, yeah, about 10.
About 10 years. I was like, yo, oh my goodness. But those same people were like, oh my God, this acquisition. I'm like, do you even know what they're acquiring? So yeah, that's my final thoughts. It's big. I'm happy for Bungie. Godspeed to them, right?
I think the most pertinent question now is what next? Because surely Sony have got more tongs in the fire. So who are they going to come out next? Konami, Sega, Capcom, who knows? There are no rules. It's a complete frontier.
Yeah. What do you think about that? Because another thing that I saw floating around the Twitter space was, oh, this is starting to look like people are just trying to monopolize the game now. It's the same thing that we were saying when we spoke about Microsoft, Activision Blizzard, where our companies, is it going to end up like in 5 years where it is really just Sony versus Microsoft, because they have such control over all of the studios. It's no longer a partnership with certain studios. It is a straight up, we own that game studio, they own that game studio, and they're gonna like just butt heads all the time. Is that where we're going? Is that the...
I hope not, because before, when we saw this with Sega and Nintendo way back in the day, it basically caused a bit of a crash. Everyone got monopolized and it all turned out a bit meh. So let's hope that doesn't happen here. I think I'd like more independence and more freedom with companies. I think it benefits everyone. However, I do think some of the smaller ones being bought in-house to have this kind of relationship could be a benefit as well. I just don't hope we don't see everyone like... I don't want to see like two Zaibatsus like battling it out like world at that point. I don't want it to happen.
Yeah.
I don't want Jin Kazama like Jim Ryan over here, you know?
Yeah. It wouldn't be nice. I don't think it would be nice for the consumers. That is it. It looks nice, like these big numbers being thrown out there. This much billion and that much billion. It looks nice in a moment, but we need to be a bit more forward thinking or mindful about like what could happen as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's a frontier.
Yeah, it is very, very interesting. This whole thing is very, very interesting. And that was only January, right? That was only January.
Well, we've got months left this year.
Yeah, we've got so many months left. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm very excited.
It's gonna be
right. Yeah. Cool. Well, that has been Dorrani and Dom from VG247.com. See you later, everyone.
Sweet.